Now, this is basically how our foundation, actually, we should be indicating the foundation footing as probably a strict foundation, right? But as an architect, it is not up to you or maybe the architect or the builder to determine the type of foundation to be used, right? It's not up to the architect. That's why it's just advisable to just leave the foundation details like this, right? It's advisable to just leave it like this because it's not up to the architect. Is the work of the structural designer, structural engineer to do that, to calculate the loadings and the type of foundations to be done to that, right? So now the best thing for us to do now to just is to just create like a cover here, something like an arc here, and then the structural engineer is expected to complete it and determine the type of foundation to be used. So for us to do that, let's just go ahead and create maybe something like a semicircle here, right? So let's just create something like this here. Okay, so we should be having just something like this. Okay, so I think something like this is okay. Let's just reduce this a little bit. Okay, come, let me draw a straight line here indicating, okay, this is our ground level, right? Here is our ground level. So indicating our ground level here. Also, similarly here also. Okay, let's do that again. What's the issue here now? Okay, let's see if we can chamfer these two together. Okay, they can't be chamfer. Okay, let's just extend this. Extend. Okay, it's not extendable also. Okay, let's just select it and then join it with it and see what you're having. So just something like this. Let's trim this here. Okay, it's not trimmable. Let's just select it and then or something like this. So now if you have done this, then we are good to go. Because it's not the job of the architectural designer to determine the type of foundation footing. It's very wrong, right? It's the structural engineer that will determine that. Structural engineer will determine the type of foundation to be used depending on the type of structure and the type of loading that are being used in the building, right? Okay. So now the next thing for us to do now is to now determine our roof. Okay, that's the next thing for us to do. And for us to do that, the first thing we need to do now is to create, let's assume, don't let us even assume this is the edge of our wall, right? The 3,000 millimeters from our ground floor, which is this, right? Now, if you should notice, if you have been to any construction site before where construction is going on, and let's assume after the lintel level, they've arranged the remaining amount of coaches that is needed to be arranged, and then we are having the upper part of our building constituting the 3,000 millimeters, right? After that, then we'll be having a wood which will be placed across our wall on top, the edges of our wall on top, majorly 50. Okay, sorry, let's use 100 thick like this, right? Which is our wall plate, is the wood that is going to be laid across our wall in which the roof is going to be attached to it. And meanwhile, this wall plate is not nailed down to with the block work, right? It's not possible. Now we are now having another thin iron, either a round iron or a iron sheet, tying the wall with our wood of the roof, right? Which is known as the tie beam, right? Okay, now let's just go ahead and create that our tie beam. Let's go ahead and create that. Let's start from here first. So let's just give it a thickness of, let's say, 100. Let's give it a thickness of 100 for our tie beam, right? Okay. Now let's just move it and move it somewhere here. Let's assume it is starting from here. So now we are always having that, which is joining, is serving as a joint or a rope tying our roof member to our block work of our building, right? Since our roof cannot be nailed to our blocks. So now we just need to copy this. Let's give it a meaningful distance like this. Should be okay. Okay. Now let's copy it also from here. I'm using the same amount of distance for that also. Okay. So should be having this. Okay, and I think that's all right. Okay, so which is serving as our wall plate and our tie beam, right? Okay, let us just extend this upwards. Let's extend this. Then this also, let's extend it. So now what is just needed to be done now is to now draw out our roof. Now if you look at this area we sectioned out now, let's try to bring it to the roof side, which is around here, if I'm not mistaken, which is somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken, right? Right? Yeah, I think somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken, here like this. Okay, let's just copy this to see it properly. Let's copy. Let's copy it and bring it here. But you know, our roof is having the eaves already, right? So let's just subtract the eaves from it to get the exact positioning of this our sectional area. So now let's move it down to the distance of 600, right? So we are having here. So here is the area we sectioned out, right? We sectioned this area out. So now if you look at the roof side, we're having this side of the roof, right? Which is being sectioned, right? Okay. Now what is just needed for us to do now is to draw the roof side of this area, which is sectioned. And this area where it's not sectioned will be drawn as a complete roof. Since it's not sectioned, this is the area we sectioned out. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do that. So come in, let's see. This is our front view, right? Our approach view, which is kind of this area. So I'm just thinking maybe instead of us redrawing the roof, we can just select this. Let's select this and just kind of make some adjustment to it. All right. So now let's copy. Let's bring it here. First of all, okay. Now let's ungroup it. Let's ungroup it and see where we can adjust to get our roofing details, our complete roofing details, right? Okay. Now let's just do that. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So this is just what we have to do. Let's come in. Let's cut this over here around here. Let's cut this. Okay. I just need to edit this, right? Okay. Let's just break this here. Let's break this. We still need the eaves, right? I still in need of the eaves. So we are breaking this here. Similarly, here also, the line here is to be broken here also. Okay. Okay, we are in need of. Okay, I think this is where we need not this area now. This is the part we are in need of, right? Okay, let's break this off also. Oh, sorry. Okay, we are having this. And then let's do the same thing for here also. There's a mistake there, but don't worry, we'll adjust that. Let's break this here also. Right. And then let's break it here. And we're good to go. Okay, let's just delete all this. I'm not in need of them anymore. Let's delete all of them. Alright, okay. Let's now copy our roof without this segment here. Right, and then let's copy and then bring it here. Okay, it should be here. Maybe here like this. Oh no, let me move it up. Okay, yeah, I think it's no, it should be there. Yes, it should be here. Since this is our eaves projection here, this is our eaves here, and then here is our wall plate, and then this should be extended here like this. Okay, we should be having something like this. We won't be needing this anymore because this we're now dealing with section. All right, we're still on the right track. Okay, let's explore this. Let's select this and release it off. Let's delete this. So now we are having this should be moving downwards. Yes, this should be moving downwards. Move this from here to here. Yeah. So this is what you're having. This is the correct one originally. So let's extend this. Having it like this. Yeah. So this is how our roof is supposed to look like. Okay. Let's now just mirror this segment out. And then let's mirror it. Okay. Now this is the way our roof is looking like. Since this is our fascia board at the outside area of our building now, all what you are drawing is within the building, within the design area, right? Okay. So this is just how our wall is going to look like.